And here we are, everybody, continuing the Arkansas State Dynasty. We have the offseason heading into Season 4 today, streaming live here on YouTube. How's everyone doing? A few minutes late. I got onto the streaming side of YouTube today and saw there were a few changes and whatnot. And I'm like, all right, this seems, mostly fine. And then I go to stream and it gives me like an internet issue. And a few minutes ago, it wasn't working. I didn't change anything, and now it is. So I don't know what's up. But how's everyone doing? Kicking the week off with Arkansas State Dynasty. What's everyone doing here this Monday afternoon? Hope y'all had a good weekend. We're going to dive into the offseason and see, where things take us this year with the roster. And then is it time to make a change in our conference, because the Sun Belt has just kind of gotten weak while we have a lot of avenues to get stronger. And I've been interested in a move to the American Conference, which I think has a lot of good teams for us to face. Tulane and Memphis. I would look to make that a protected rivalry. Thank you for the memberships, Chris and Kenny. Go Troy, says Chris. We had no issue with Troy. I'm free from Brian Kelly. The vibes are high. Yeah, new change for LSU with them making the move this week. I'm doing pretty good, Kevin. How are you guys doing? Go to the Big 12. Big 12 would not be a bad move either. I just think the American might be a logical step. And we're going to take a look at where these teams are before I make my ultimate choice. The Big 12 does have overalls that match up close to us or better, so it certainly wouldn't be bad. It's just one of the larger conferences, and I'm trying to eventually work us into the SEC. So I don't know if I want to go from one Power 4 to the next. But if you look at just like the best conferences then that are in the others, I'm not going to go to the MAC this year after doing that last year. The Mountain West isn't really there. I think the American, with a tough non-conference schedule, is probably what makes sense. Because now we're kind of in preparing to move to the SEC mode, if that makes sense. Independent could also work, like Kaleidoscope just mentioned here. Thank you for the 8 months of membership. If we get to the offseason or like the conference realignment stage, and I feel like maybe the American is even weaker, then I could end up looking to just go independent. But right now I think it's going to be American so we can continue to compete for a championship there. Yeah, the SEC would be really, really tough, regardless if we do it now or down the road. But if you look at where the SEC teams are, I think you'd just see us be struggling against almost every team. There are a couple that are weaker now, like Vandy and South Carolina. But otherwise, I think we're a couple years away, at least, from that. I do think the American is a somewhat lateral move, but it is still considered one of the stronger conferences. If we go and take a look at the conference prestige, they are, after you get by Independent and the Power 4, they're next. They're actually stronger than the Pac-12, and with a B grade, that would allow us to meet conference prestige deal breakers on prospects, whereas the Sun Belt, as you can tell, is only a C. And I'm clearly in the way of all of this right now. Let me move the camera. There we go. So yeah, it's a full letter grade up in terms of competition. Regardless of where you go, schedule Texas, and maybe we can see Bo Jackson, but also make sure he doesn't transfer away from Texas first. Yes, we're going to take a look at Bo Jackson, and if he's in a position to play, then I want to face him and enjoy what that's like for a full game. This year, we are going to host Arkansas after beating them on the road and finishing, in the college football playoff. We're going to play them again, but at home. I would like to go at Memphis this year, but because we're moving into the American and they're going to be a conference opponent, I can protect the rivalry, but I won't be able to determine if it's a home or road game this year. So we'll just have to kind of deal with whatever's thrown our way in that case. Grant becomes a new channel member. Thank you so much. And there will be a channel member stream this week. I'm going to schedule that probably Thursday evening. Is it too soon for Bears fans to panic on Caleb Williams, and can the Bears turn it around? I mean, the vibes were pretty high before yesterday. I definitely don't think you should overreact to yesterday. I think you have to accept that this is probably going to be a transitional year where success looks like 9 or 10 wins and making the wild card, but there are still going to be issues even if the first year of Ben Johnson's tenure is overall successful. It's not like the most, it's a good roster, but it's not one of the best. It's still probably third best in the North. So I think that you have to accept that there are going to be slip-ups like yesterday, but be more concerned with losing streaks over losses. What do you think of the Miami Tua situation? It feels like the kind of situation you can see from 100 miles away, where probably Tua ends up on a new team and they make an entire regime change going into next year. Unless there's some sort of huge winning streak, but I didn't see them going into Atlanta yesterday against what's been a good defense and lighting them up. But those mid-tier teams, you can't trust them. You don't know what they're going to be week to week. Do any coordinators leave? I don't think so. Yeah, Bills look really good yesterday. They took care of business the way they needed to, for sure. There were not a lot of changes this year in the Sun Belt. That's all that happened. South Alabama has a regime change, a couple new head coaches. Oh yeah, I think Patriots fans they're happy once again. Drake May looks like the real deal this year. He's really coming into his own. Every week there's 2 to 4 just wow throws from Drake May. And he is not throwing these to star receivers in most cases, too. So, the Patriots are building something nice there. Vrabel walked into a pretty good situation. Yeah, that Scatabo injury was really hard to see, man. That's one I wish I didn't watch the replay of. Usually I don't watch the injuries when they're like, hey, it's bad, don't watch it. Usually I listen to the advice. But I was curious of how he got hurt. That is the unfortunate side of getting invested into football, is just watching players who are, whether they're playing well or not, just watching players suffer awful injuries. 1 second he's fine, the next he's not. And the Giants already lost Malik Neighbors earlier this year. They're 2-6, so yeah, that's been a roller coaster ride there in New York. What are my job offers? They weren't all that interesting. I could be the head coach at Oregon State. That's it. Carlos Harms was the Scatabo of Buffalo. He really was. We're likely going to the American, Jacob, unless the conference, for some reason, looks really bad going into next year. We know that the conference prestige is currently a B. So if there are at least a few teams on our level and it's better than the Sun Belt, that's going to be our next move. I am using a custom playbook. I edit it like every offseason based on just different things I want to emphasize or formations I like or don't like. My Jets haven't made the playoffs in 15 consecutive seasons, longest streak in the 4 major North American sports. That's tough. It also feels like 15 consecutive seasons as the longest streak isn't that much. If we're just thinking about like how bad some of these teams are, like the Rockies. But the Rockies like 6 years ago were a wild card. The Rockies had a really good lineup there in the West. It feels like 15 is the record right now, but like there are a lot of teams that might be able to stretch beyond 15. That's how it feels. You know, things can obviously change. Yeah, poor Jets, man. I mean, to see Aaron Rodgers go there and not even he could even get them within a game of the wild card. And he played well. And he's playing well this year. I mean, that's why you have head coaching changes. That's why you make these kinds of moves. But yeah, it's so hard to lift a team from that level the way Dan Campbell did it in Detroit. It's hard. It's a lot easier to stay bad than it is to stay good. I think ownership often plays a role. It's sometimes hard to quantify, but they're the head of the organization. They make the hiring decisions. They choose whether or not they get too hands-on in the job, and they handle a lot in the media and just... I think that ultimately you do have to place a lot of the blame on ownership when teams are consistently bad. And, you know, when you look at like the Browns are and the Jets, and then, you know, you can look at the Pirates in baseball, the Twins in baseball, throw them in there too. I don't like the ownership there very much. Can't fire the owner. Yeah, Minnesota is just, they're so good at being a mediocre team. They pop up every now and then, but the Vikings have not had a good season where they were expected to be good, literally, since 2009, the year Brett Favre showed up. Every other season, the Vikings have had expectations. They have failed. They've crumbled. They have not made the playoffs in back-to-back years since 08-09. And they're on their way probably, I think the Vikings are going to finish with double-digit losses. Because they do look like one of the 6 or 7 worst teams in the league right now. And the Packers look really good. Lions look really good. They have a tough schedule, really the entire season. So I would place the Vikings win total right now at 6.5. You know, the rest of the year, it boils down to just like hopefully JJ looking good. And honestly, like I'm excited to see JJ again. I still feel very good about him being the Vikings quarterback going forward. I think that he was put into a really bad spot, especially in the Falcons game. The second game that he played, he did not play well. He has not played well in 2 games, but he also played behind offensive linemen who had barely more experience than him. And I was watching a video of like a couple former Vikings linemen breaking down the breakdowns in that in the protection in that game, and it's like, what was it supposed to look like? That's all the way back in week 2, ancient history at this point. But I do think like the fact that JJ hasn't played since then, and people have been able to just like have that be the lasting memory now for over a month probably makes it worse than it is. I do think that there's a good chance the Vikings offense, looks a lot better as long as Darrisaw's playing. Without Darrisaw, the team has been a complete mess offensively. He really has been the most important player outside of Justin Jefferson this year. So yeah, I'm still a JJ guy. I have not sold any of my theoretical stock yet in him being successful, but I do think there are kind of concerns around just the way they've been unable to navigate the problems this year with injuries and whatnot. I don't think that KOC has adapted nearly as well. I thought he did a better job in the Cleveland game, but even then, without a fourth quarter comeback, it doesn't look like an improvement there. We'll see. How long were you a Ponder guy? Probably midway through 2013, I had given up on it. And I had moved on to either Derek Carr or Teddy Bridgewater in the draft for that next year. Yeah, Addison's been great. Addison's phenomenal. I'd be surprised if they weren't already getting calls from Buffalo for Jordan Addison. If you were the GM of the Panthers, what would you fix to make them contenders? They need your help. I think you're still in that situation where you don't know quite if Bryce Young is the guy or not. He had some really good games down the stretch last year, but they've been more inconsistent this season. T-Mac's a baller. Rico Dowdle's been really good this season. But they're just a horrendously inconsistent team. The same team that got blown out by the Bills yesterday, beat the Falcons 30-0. Had a nice comeback in their game they played against the Dolphins. Panthers are in that middle-of-the-road tier 2 where you don't know what you're going to get week to week. Yeah, Dalton was horrendous. It was not a good day. It was not a good week for the veteran backup quarterback. When you consider Wentz, Andy Dalton, and some of these other guys that had to start. Ugly, ugly week. All right, guys, you want to get to the offseason now? I appreciate y'all being here. Long intro. And sorry I couldn't get around to things on Saturday. I was looking for a chance to schedule it in advance, and I couldn't do that because it was looking like we were going to get really bad storms. I like to have it scheduled in advance. And I know every time there's a storm, I tend to lose power. I think the storms end up being that bad. Whatever. Moved it to Monday. Yeah, I'll make the playbook shareable again when I edit it. I think I have one on the share already. All right, guys. So as we get into the off season, we have a 13-1 team that I just think has accomplished all they can in the Sun Belt so far. I did not intend to leave after 3 years, but these teams are just not keeping up in the transfer portal. It was a relatively easy season. There were some good games. Don't get me wrong there. But I think that this team needs a new challenge to prepare for hopefully a move one day to the SEC. We had an amazing comeback against Arkansas. We had a 7 overtime game against Tulane. And a couple one-score games in the conference. But now, after losing in the playoffs, we're 13-1. And it's time to see what is next. Now, as we get this offseason underway, I am still focused on us being able to get Gerald Ogletree. So we are not meeting his deal breaker currently for playing style. Will he still choose to come to Arkansas State? I sure hope so. Daniel Bauman at running back, I think, is going to choose Pitt. But we have to see when we sim a week who is still targeting these high school players, because we usually see teams put all their resources into the transfer portal as soon as the offseason hits. We currently have a small class, an impactful one, but this has kind of been the story the first few years. We don't get a lot accomplished during the season, but I think that we're about to see us get to a 2-star team and have more hours to spend, which will be really, really nice. Now, in terms of who we're losing going into next year, Samu Tamanu Pepe is going to be graduating. He was phenomenal. Charlie Collins could actually be back. Just think about that. The best edge rusher. What a season he just had, racking up 25 sacks. He could be back on this team next year. Samaj Bridgman will graduate. Duncan Grant, I think, will stick around. We're going to need new running backs with Caleb Hicks and Cedric Hawkins graduating. And we have some deal breakers like here for Xavier Johnson, where we don't know if he's going to be coming back at all. You want to see the team history tab? So here's what happens, has happened here the first few years. Took a step back from where Arkansas State was prior to the series, but have quickly now gotten things back on track. 13-1, but it's time to raise the bar of competition. I have checked those traits already. I have showed those off in a previous episode. But Joey Colon, probably going to be a running back. Impact Dev. Keontae Bargava, Star Dev, and we don't know any of his ratings yet. Kiki McCracken has normal. Nathan Soliday has normal. Connor Flood at guard, impact. Kofi Osgood, the edge rusher, has impact. Isaiah Harris, star, will linebacker. And then impact, Cordell Herring at free safety. Does Noteboom have elite dev? He has a high, he has high caps. I want to say he's like an impact player. Devin Noteboom has star. Okay. And of course, we always want to see who takes a big leap, and he has uncapped pass rushing. That is amazing. What positions are you targeting this offseason? Certainly running back and probably in the transfer portal. I think we need to look at potentially a wide receiver, just because Xavier Johnson's one of those players who could end up leaving. And cornerback in the portal is also a spot where, as we get tougher competition, we probably want to get better. Samaj Bridgman was Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week there against UCLA. We were the only Sun Belt team to play, so we're going to have, I thought 2 winners, but our offense wasn't even good enough to get an award there, apparently. Maybe there was a bowl game that coincided that ended up taking the award down then. Is defensive tackle in need? It could be. That's the tough thing, is it all depends on who leaves in the portal. And there are a lot of players whose deal breakers we haven't met. Noah Herrick should still be around. We'll see if that's ultimately the case. And who are the champs now this season? Looks like Michigan takes down Florida. Let's see that CFP bracket then. That's how it all unfolded. UCLA beat us and then lost to Florida by 3. You had 2 SEC teams in the semis, 1 ACC team, 1 Big Ten team. Michigan goes through ASU, Miami, and Clemson before taking down Florida. All right, Wolverines are on top once again. Check coordinators. Have we lost anybody? I'm still not seeing that we've lost any coordinators to jobs. Let me see, where are the bowl results? Isn't there a tab for it? I'm not sure I ever checked on the All-Americans. We all knew that Charlie Collins would probably be there, Samaj Bridgman, Keon Dunlap even. We had to face the All-American running back here, Carson Cox, in that playoff game. That was a tough one. Turbo Richard. What a name. Turbo Richard. I love it. Can I see all Sun Belt? We should have a bunch. Caleb Hicks, Xavier Johnson, Collins, Herrick, Tamanu Pepe, Bridgman, Dunlap, Jabari Bush, second team. Only started for half the year. Yeah, one more concern I have about our team before we get to all the big stuff here in the offseason is how many changes we're going to have along the offensive line. Because we had 3 senior starters. But deal breakers are an issue for a lot of the other players. We could end up losing a lot of our depth this year. You know, Trayson Hunt, Marquise Ivy, those deal breakers aren't working. At center, Fortson and Norton were 2 starters. Fortson's gone because he's a senior. But Norton, the playing style, I feel like he's gone too. So my one concern here is that there are just so many spots I absolutely need to solve during the portal that I'm not able to hit one of those stretch goals like finding a difference-making corner. Because if I don't have offensive linemen that can start, that's going to be the top priority. You can sink a season behind a bad offensive line. All right, so players leaving. And remember my rule when it comes to players leaving for the draft. Any running back that declares, I don't tell them to stay. And anybody who's going in the top 3 rounds, I don't convince to stay. I bring that up because I don't know if Charlie Collins is going to choose to leave or not. I don't know if he's a high enough overall. But let's see. We got some work to do here. Did we have 2.5 stars? Is that what it said? Yeah, 2.5 stars. We're going to have more recruiting hours. All right, here we go. You can see other teams' transfers during players' leaving stage along with relevant stats. Also, transfers are sorted by overall, easy to get 4 stars during stage 2 without offers. Yeah, depending on if there are any there in stage 2. That'll consider us, and maybe the gains we've made in the past year give us more options. Here is the players leaving stage. Xavier Johnson looking for pro potential. That one actually makes sense. Like going somewhere where he has a better chance to get looks in the draft. Johnson's out. JJ Harrell. What if I tell him we're going to change conferences? Does that change anything? Neil Kennedy. Stephen Harris. BJ Wasevich. Now, unlike many past years, we have a lot of players who have high persuasion chance, and I have 9 persuasion attempts. I got 9 chances to bring back players. That's a lot. That's only 12 players who are trying to exit, which is our best so far. Yeah, we went from 2 to 4 to 9 persuasions. I do not know what gives you persuasions, by the way. I have no clue. So I'm going to start off here with offensive lineman Cade Chanel. I want him to stick around. I have a high chance. That's not a guarantee. He will stay. We're 1 for 1. I can see their caps and their dev, too. I can double check some of this stuff beforehand. So I can see who has more potential. But yeah, obviously we're going to want to try to get BJ Wasevich back. This one is a medium chance. One of the big recruits of our very first class. Can Reggie Carter convince him this is the place to develop as a linebacker and eventually make it to the NFL? He cannot. BJ Wasevich will now test the transfer portal. How about Stephen Harris? The 4-star wide receiver will stay. Nice. And of course, we're going to attempt the same on Xavier Johnson and J.J. Harrell. We'll start with Harrell. Harrell, we're going to the American Conference. Is that a big enough jump for you? No, it's not. Xavier Johnson, very low chance. I feel like I should just try anyway. Come on, Xavier, run it back. One more. Oh! It worked! That is huge! We don't have to have a new number 1 receiver. Your Marlins franchise is my favorite of all time, Kane. Thank you, Nate. That has been an awesome series. And it's become one of my favorites, too. We are officially fine at wide receiver. How did that work? Not bad. All right. Let's consider some of these freshmen. Impact Dev, Joseph Finley. Oh, we got to try to bring him back. There are going to be 3 players that I have to ultimately not persuade, right? Finley. Oh. I can't get Joseph Finley back. I think I'm going to pass on trying for Neil Kennedy. For Gully here, a redshirt junior, I probably let him go. I probably let the redshirt juniors go and then the quarterback. And try everybody else. Marquise Ivy will stay. Stefan Diggs, who wants playing time, failed. And then last, Cedric Franklin II. Success. And maybe I have a chance to bring some of these guys back in the portal. That is still a possibility. I did get J.J. Harrell back that way last year, but I can't believe I just convinced Xavier Johnson to stay. On a very low persuasion chance. I don't know what those odds boil down to. I'm going to guess it's like 10%. So, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players leaving in the portal. A lot less than we're used to. And we just kept our number 1 receiver. DeMar Alba's going to develop. That's exciting. Our offense already looks like it's in really good shape going into next season. Can you do the Gators for next NCAA rebuild? As a Gators fan, we haven't been dominant since the Tebow years. I know you can restore them. I loved those years where the Gators were on top. I don't usually pick big schools to work with. We'll see what my overall strategy is next year in terms of maybe considering, other types of rebuilds so I can try out some other things. I've thought about changing up kind of like what I'm posting when the games first drop and maybe start doing more just rebuild style content and get deeper into the game, trying things out before my full projects get underway so I have some reps. All right, draft results, anybody? Samaj Bridgman, 7th round linebacker. CBJ Wisevich, you missed out. Gators program is big, but the team is bad. I still think those kind of rebuilds are interesting. Restoring a former powerhouse, I think, has some allure. All right, guys, let's go take a look now at what we can do in the portal and what we ultimately need to get done, because this is our roster. I do have 2 quarterbacks. I thought I might lose Rashawn Coleman, but he didn't choose to enter the portal. Now, D'Angelo Cook sticking around too actually matters because I know I have like an RB2 for sure. I need a running back. We're great at receiver. I think we're good at tight end. I wish it would take the seniors off the board here and all the players who are gone. I guess it does with the transfers. Tebow now co-owns an ECHL hockey team. I had no idea. Do you think Tim Tebow can skate? So Jaden Hart's. Now I'm trying to think of I'm losing Hart's. I should have Hacker and Chanel. And then Haslam at tackle. I'm hoping that there's a guy here that pops. Randy Haslam. I'm hoping he takes a leap. Look at those caps. I'm taking the Blue Jays in 6 or 7. You, Kane? Oh, man, they look so good. Swinging the bats there in game 1. And then Yoshi back-to-back complete games. Are you kidding me? For him? Definitely be pulling for the Blue Jays. But, man, I got... After that, might be Dodgers in 6 for me. Dodgers in 5? Ooh, that's not what I want to see. Because what do they got now? 3 games in a row in LA. Got to get the series back to Toronto. That's the main thing I want to see. Shohei is going tomorrow, right? Game 4. Who starts tonight? Man, I love playoff baseball. Are we getting Max versus Glass now tonight? Ooh. I can't wait for that. You're not going to be able to take Scherzer out of this game. This could be the last start of his entire career. This is like the game that's going to define the end of his career. Yeah, I love watching postseason baseball. I mean, I enjoy baseball in general, but the postseason, just the more strategic nature, and finally you're playing games that carry like significant weight, and just the way baseball is played, is just so dramatic, and I love it. You think linebackers one of our biggest needs? After losing with Sevich and, Bridgman's not going to be back, we have Sample graduating, Dallas Brown, Jaden Cotton, Pat Fargas. And actually, Fargas is graduating. Linebackers, huge need. MLB script writers writing a Game 7, 13 strikeout Shohei complete game shutout with 9 RBIs and 2 home runs. Oh, so his second best game of the postseason then? All right, we're still the only team that's looking to get Gerald Ogletree. I think my extra hours have already kicked in, have they not? I have 750. Daniel Bauman, it looks like Pitt is still going, and I know I can't beat that. I need to get a punter. Dylan Owen. I know I need to get Bradley Durham, the pass rusher. Or not pass rusher, he's a running back. I'm going to hard sell. You've never done an SEC team for a rebuild franchise, and it would be challenging building an SEC team up in such a stacked conference. Well, that's why I'm trying to take this one into the SEC eventually. Just trying to get to a good entry point so that, we're not just getting destroyed. What's the calculator say to a D+, D+, A+? This is one of those where I'm not sure if it's better to do hard sell. A+, D+, D+ is a hard sell. Okay. It's better than sending the house. I look up a calculator whenever I'm in this situation. The 2 Fs, or if you have 2 Fs, I think it cancels it out. So there are still a few high school players I'm attempting to get, but overall, we're going to dedicate a lot of this attention to the portal. Yeah, I'll probably go full on Bauman if he lasts to stage 2. I'm just not anticipating that'll be the case. Running backs. Who's the best running back we could try to get? Gideon Davidson. He ran for 1,000 yards last year, 18 touchdowns, 6th ranked in the class out of LSU. Do we think it's doable? No initial interest, but I have a bunch of points. I have 600 hours dedicated. Then Jaden Scott, elusive bruiser. That's not bad. Jamaris Wilder. Now, how much do I have to put into the interest here? Dylan Lee. Fifth in interest. That might be a good place to start with those few. You should do a series focusing on your own legacy, moving from team to team, dominating along the way. I think it'd be fun to do like a coach-based deal like that, where you don't just stay on the same team. It'd be something new for me to do after years of just like, you know, the same structure. I'm just looking for, do you guys think that the coaching carousel in this game is good enough? Like, I don't think it's handled well enough in the NFL to be interesting to be a coordinator. And it's not like a feature built into the game. But, you know, it is an option here in CFB. What's the experience like? Do you like it? Older games, it's fine, but in this one, you can't really dictate where you go anymore. The coach carousel is terrible in this game. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm going to try to get back Harrell and Wasevich here for sure. I also feel like I should try to steal this guard from Arkansas. They have a linebacker, too, I could look into. You know, it's kind of like how I've actually been craving a specific experience lately, okay? I would like to... I know I've done stuff like this before, but I want to build my own franchise, but be more involved with like the having to make money aspect of it, which Owner's Box is not even in Madden 26, and it hasn't been a huge feature even in the games that had it. Do I have to go all the way back to the PS2 for something like that, you think, where, you know, attendance actually matters and managing the team actually feels like it's my team and I have a lot of decisions to make? Yeah, there is a 4-star or 3-star running back interested. Fame Ijiboy plays for Minnesota in real life. 4-star safety. Does he have initial interest? Deshaun Spears from Texas A&M, number 2 interest. There you go. I could go for the pass rusher, but let me see where my hours end up. And I know I have Collins and then hopefully a boost from Noteboom going into next season. Hey, Kane, Titans episode 48 is not in the playlist. Let me write that in my notes and I will double check that. Thank you. That's in my notes. I will not miss it. Grant Bierman. That feels like a college football name. Bierman. Already number 2 in interest. I actually have the points too where I might be able to justify some scouting to actually like look at some of these skill sets. Isn't that crazy? Marlon Mon. Cameron Keys. All right, that gives me 15 or a full recruiting board. I can always make some more room. So it starts here with Gideon Davidson, who's in the transfer class. We got 3 running backs there. I will actually be looking to scout so I know who to go all in on. .95 speed, 95 acceleration. Wow, 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 wow. We'll see if it works. I might need more info on other players, though. Because consider Dylan Lee already has us in his top teams, whereas Davidson does not. And we lost a lot of tight battles even last year. So can I really choose to put 100 points here on running backs? I haven't even scouted Scott because the first 2 were hits. At the very least, I know I don't need to scout J.J. Harrell or B.J. Wisevich. And I'm just going to go and offer to Cash Courtney at guard. I'm not really worried here. And then Spears being a 4-star, he doesn't need that. And we will go and send the house. But I think the linebackers need to be scouted. All right, so that's a decent balanced skill set here for Jamison Woodrow, but compared to Grant Bierman, quite similar from what we can see here. Let's get those 2 next to each other on the board. So Woodrow, better speed acceleration. Bierman has more strength and looks to be a better overall run defender. Why not both? They both look good. I think we have enough need. I'll do the points in a second. I want to scout these corners quick. Someone who can play next to Gorey. 76 man, 81 zone. I'm 83. 99 change of direction. Holy cow, the athleticism on Cameron Keys. I'm also going to scout Jet White. 86 speed. Okay. I'm going to look at Cameron Keys. Send the house here. Send the house here. Send the house there. And then change this to send the house. I'm mostly going to see if anyone jumps in for Harrell and Wisevich. Wentz out for the season? Seriously? He's going to have surgery on his left shoulder and miss the rest of the year. Jeez, man. I wanted to see Brosmer in that game so much sooner because it was clear Wentz was not supposed to be out there. So now they're back in the quarterback market. Whoever's on the street right now. You're not going to trade for anybody with a 3-4 record in most cases. I don't even know who's out there. I'm just kind of looking at, is this the time to look at a list of free agent quarterbacks right now? Probably not. No, y'all keep paying Kirk Cousins the big money there. Russ. I wouldn't mind having Russ on the team, but I don't want it to cost anything. Yeah, I don't know. Jameis. I mean, KOC play calls like he has Jameis at quarterback, it feels like. JJ and Max Brosmer. I'm not even sure if there was another quarterback on the practice squad. Not sure there was a need, considering Brosmer is kind of your practice squad quarterback. I'm checking their roster right now to see if there was a practice squad guy. I don't see one. Zappy's on another practice squad. That's probably the move they would do, is sign somebody off of somebody else's practice squad. I don't think it should be a Bailey Zappi necessarily, but they'll probably sign someone that way. All right, can we get a few more points assigned here, I'd say, in these competitive battles? So that's going to be how we get this off-season recruiting underway. We got a target at corner, safety, 2 linebackers, a guard, a couple running backs. I'm not necessarily trying to get both, but you just don't know, you know, if you're going to be able to land these guys, especially when you're not on their board initially. They'll probably bring Ritter back. Okay, that could be the case. Still, I like somebody else, I guess. I didn't see Bo. Bradley Durham commits. We had a running back. And, yep, there's some bad news there. Daniel Bauman has committed to Pitt. We lose out there. Man, Gerald Ogletree, please end up joining us here at some point. Ooh, we flipped with BYU. All right, so for Gideon Davidson, I don't know if this is looking good enough. Those big schools have a massive lead on us. While for Dylan Lee, we pop up into first. We probably need to focus on Dylan Lee then. Cash Courtney puts us number 1. Jamison Woodrow, we're number 2. Grant Bierman, we're number 1. Deshaun Spears, we get into first place for the top safety. So I think this week we get complimentary visits for Spears, Keys, and anybody else that fits. Probably out here on Jet White. Let's get a visit lined up. Championship contender is now a good pitch for us. Let's just take it. What's his deal breaker? Yeah. And then Cameron Keys. We can also pitch on championship contender. Do linebackers make it complimentary? Yes. Championship contender will work again, I think. Can't have him visit. Those are all the defenders I have here, top 5. Try to go for the other cornerback. Marlon Mon. He's a transfer freshman. I think because of age, definitely then. I might have to put some points here into Wasevich and JJ. But it feels like I have enough points to just send the house on everybody. But now I probably need to pull the points off of Gideon Davidson. I'm just not going to make the comeback there. And I'm probably not going to get Jaden Scott. So is there anyone else that I add to this board then? That's 9 players. I just want to see if our roster looks updated enough. Yeah. All right, so 2 quarterbacks, the running backs. We don't need receiver. Tight end might be worth a peek. But now offensive line, I think, is like... we just look okay there. Still having Trent Norton is really big, I think, for this year. Can we take a leap somewhere like tackle? Who are my 2 guards then? Montague and Elias Butt, probably. But normal dev here on Butt. We don't expect him to take a huge jump. Kane, I'm saying this as a concerned Lions fan. God help whoever starts that quarterback versus us Sunday. That O-line is going to get one of them killed. Yeah, I really hope that Darisaw can play and O'Neal can play. If they have 4 out of 5 healthy, I'll take it. If Darisaw's included. But it's been a miserable season, honestly. Yeah, we could use a guard. Especially because our tackles, I don't think, are even strong enough to, like, cosplay as a guard. I'd throw safety in there, too. Guard and safety. I don't have a punter for this year unless we can get the 1 punter on my board. Vernon Randall. We should get him, right? So I am already trying to get 1 guard. But... there's a Wisconsin guard who is the best left guard or whatever in the transfer portal. Let's put him on the board. Let's go to safety. I might still get a 4-star safety. Anybody else from Arkansas State that I could look to bring back? I'm only seeing 3 on the list here. We might have some 2-star prospects. Gully, maybe. Probably not the greatest need. I have the 4-star safety already on the board here. Deshaun Spears. Yeah, looking good there as a run blocker. Ooh. I'm second, but it's a distant second. I need to be realistic in some of these battles. Graham is like one of the higher rated guys that is actually top 2 on our board. He has a big offer from Bowling Green. Let's see. 608 to 722. No offers here on Andre Lovett. We also have some guys we're in first place for. Elgin Sessions. Steven Rennell. That name is familiar. I know he played for Louisiana. Coverage specialist. Let me see what that looks like. I might have to free up some points here with the high school players. I don't know if I need any points here at this stage, but I'm going to pull these. All right, I probably have to give the edge here to Lovett in coverage. Rennell does have better tackling, though. Yeah, maybe I'll break the tie there with Rennell. Better acceleration, better tackling. There was a safety from Iowa who was a freshman. It is nice to go after some of the freshman prospects. Vince Yates. I can scout a little bit. 64 awareness, so he's probably going to be a backup. Maybe I can scout him more fully in the next week. But right now I got my points, I think, in good spots. Anybody here in their top 5? Yes, Cash Courtney. I don't have quite enough info, though, to get great pitches in. All right, let's let that ride. No new players yet. So I did a bunch of defensive visits this week. Dylan Lee still has us in first, man. It's razor thin. I might have to scout a backup plan this week. JJ Harrell moves us to number 1. Same with BJ Wisevich. Cash Courtney has us number 1. Jamison Woodrow. I can probably get like a complimentary visit together that's pretty good for offense this week. Bierman's close to a decision. Spears now favoring Alabama, and that's after our visit. Can't see that being a win. But we're in good shape for Keys. Coverly at guard. Steven Rennell. All right. So I know I want to visit here. Championship contender has been the pitch. Let's get Courtney on a visit. Let's change it up and go Coach Prestige. Or what's your deal breaker? It is championship contender. I don't know if like deal breaker gives a bonus there, but why not pick it? And I can't do a visit yet with JJ Harrell, unfortunately. Cubberly, 30 points for the visit. Coach Prestige. Yeah, a visit where we just talk about how good Reggie Carter is. That's what most prospects want to hear, is just coaches talk themselves up for a whole day. And now let's take a look at some of the hard sells and see if we got a way to boost it, man. We're not ready there. Maybe I can figure it out here with 2. Could be that one. Could be that one. All right. We're going to guess that one for Cash Courtney. Only got 1. I want to guess that one. Deshaun Spears. I almost wonder if I have to guess because I'm already trailing here. Can I swing for the fences here with championship contender? Proximity to home, maybe? Playing time? I feel like I have to try that here on Spears if I'm trailing. Playing time, championship contender. Might be the best one. Or proximity to home program tradition. Either one. What do you guys think? Hometown hero or primetime player to get Deshaun Spears? Now, overview gives you 1, but it's often the first one we unlock here. Send the house is probably not going to flip the event, though. We need to, like, get a bonus. We were already sending the house before. Primetime player? Let's go for it. Might be our only hope, and it's probably a losing battle anyway. But we're going to try. And I might need one of these to work out for Marlon Mon, given we're in second place. Could be this one. I'm just going to hope it is then. Well, we got all three here for keys. How sick would it be to add a star safety, man? All right, is there anything else I want to look at here? Maybe I can clean up part of the board just so I can see if there's someone more I want to look into. Rashad Amiri. I think I have enough cornerback depth. I didn't even scout Calvin Falk here at linebacker. I have a few players I didn't even scout. Didn't even get to it. All right, back to the portal. And see if we have that another running back option. There's one on the board already, but I don't know if at 170 some pounds, if he'd be the best fit. Let's see, no offers. We just need someone that can step in, and I got 4 options right here. Pokayawa? Hunga. Jaden Hart. Let me see if there are any 4s that, for whatever reason, don't have an offer and I can actually talk to. No. There would be a couple, but I don't have a way to get on their board, and they're both running backs too. Would have been nice. You should be moving the players you are recruiting up to your board. It's affecting how you are and not getting players. Does place on the board matter? Ooh. We have conflicting responses, Braven. I mean, it couldn't hurt. Oh, no. Not enough speed there. All right, let's see where this ends up going then. I'm going to put another running back on the board in case it don't work out. And to further the Hail Mary attempt of landing Deshaun Spears, we'll put him as the #1 player on my board. I know, like, amount of players can matter in terms of, like, they factor in who's on your board when it comes to, like, playing time deal breaker. But I've never heard of this placement mattering, if that's been, like, sufficiently tested and documented. I just usually don't because I have to go through and just do this. All right, that's this stage wrapped up. Alrighty, guys, heading into the fourth and final off-season recruiting stage. Grant Bierman is a new linebacker coming to the Arkansas State Red Wolves. There we go. That's the only one, and Deshaun Spears has committed to Alabama. He even bumped us down to the third team. That wasn't even necessary. Was I wrong? I guess I'll never know if I was wrong in my hard sell, but I lost. All right, we're in really good shape for Dylan Lee, and I haven't even hard selled yet. Can we narrow it down that we've crossed, now that we've crossed off like 7 of these though? Maybe? All right, we know it's got to be this one then, because it can't be any of the other ones. We should be in really good shape for Dylan Lee. Ooh. We did a visit that week, though. That gave us a bonus. The issue now is he's visiting Notre Dame week 4. Can Notre Dame overcome that gap with a visit? Ooh, Cash Courtney, he's got a visit at Ole Miss. My hard sell appeared to have been wrong, so I can clean that up, I guess. Cameron Keys. I was right. Woodrow. I could switch it. All right, so we've narrowed it down. What about the athlete quarterback? I can't put points into the battle, so I just have to kind of let this all go and hope he picks us afterwards. And then, yeah, we could have a brand new quarterback in Gerald Ogletree. There's just nothing I can do on these deal breaker related players for the time being. Vernon Randall, I need to put some points in here because I just need you to pick the team. And I guess, you know, do I want to get both running backs if I can? It wouldn't hurt. There's still a chance I lose Lee, so I have to keep the points here. Absolutely have to. I had a couple more safeties that were down here. Yeah, I don't know that Yates is going to be a priority. Maybe Andre Lovett. I didn't have any other... Oh, I had Stephen Rennell. I'm happy with Rennell. I'm trying to get a freshman punter in. He just needs to pick us. I'll show you how serious I am as I hard sell the punter. Academic prestige, we're an F. You know what? Academics is up to you to put in the effort. You can make any school an A academic institution. You got the internet, bro. You're going to get all your answers off YouTube anyway when you hit the real world. Love all the series you are cooking right now. Watching from Kyoto, Japan at 6 a.m.? That's what I'm talking about. That sounds awesome. I got people who always chime in, you know, hello from Germany. Brazil was one that showed up all the time. Rarely ever Japan. We're all graduates of YouTube University after all. I mean, just the other day, for the first time, I had to swap the PSU on my PC. I had never done it before. And I used YouTube to figure out how to do it. I was successful, too. I was proud of myself, considering I don't really do a lot of that kind of stuff. But I could no longer deal with my PC randomly shutting off. It wasn't doing it when I was recording. It was like, my PC was shutting off like overnight sometimes when it was idling. And then a few times when I was in Photoshop making a thumbnail, it did it then. And then one time it did it during a render. And I'm like, dude, I gotta swap this out or I'm gonna lose my mind. I assumed it was the power supply that needed swapped. And it hasn't shut off since, and it's been a week. Brazil, Scotland, UK. Konnichiwa. Let's go. We might have multiple from Japan here. Denmark. I think you only had one center. That sounds about right. New Jersey. Yes, that's my favorite country. New Jersey. Delaware. No one's ever from Delaware. That's actually more surprising than someone from Japan. I've never made a friend from Delaware, for instance. New Zealand. Isn't that crazy? We got like 27 countries in here. And New Jersey. And Delaware. Which Louisiana center do you guys think is better? I mean, Jaden Edwards is ranked higher. I need a backup center. Let's get him. Don't forget Texas. We're our own state. Absolutely. When I'd have to drive more than 4 hours in any direction to leave the state, it's really a country at that point. Grand Rapids, Michigan, but a Dallas Cowboy fan. Man. Now would be the time to get on the Lions bandwagon if there ever was a time. I always forget other states can literally be driven to in 1 to 2 hours. That's unheard of down here in Texas. Yeah, the East Coast especially. Not a lot of land mass per state, honestly. I might as well hard sell here. I think I officially have more points than I need for the first time. This is a good problem to have. I've already done 50 on Randall here. I might need to see if there are any visits that need to be lined up before I go too far. Take a look at tight ends. You know, that's not a bad idea. Allow me to take a couple detours here. Physical route runner. Well, this is just recommended. Can't have offers at this stage. I prefer to get someone that we're already on the board for too, just to be more likely to get an answer. Because sometimes they'll still pick nobody if you get in too late. I'm not sure he's a good enough run blocker. Let me try again. I'm also comfortable just sticking to who we got. So Mets already has a Michigan offer. Brody Benke could be next. .58 run blocking, though. I just don't know about that. Yeah, my tight end scouting takes forever. I haven't invested into that part of the tree yet. All right. So those physical route runners might not be a good fit. Pure possession, I can't go after him. Give me tight end. Does the search filter still work for the transfer portal? I think so. But man, look at the drop. Unless there's some on the board here they're not showing me. I might just put Mets on the board then. At this point, I'm not sure I should scout. I'm just going to trust the archetypes better. Kind of a last-second Hail Mary here. You think take points off the punter? I better end up with a punter still. He better still pick us. Maybe I can do a last-second visit. Coach Prestige. Can I get a 10-point visit off? JJ Harrell can make it happen. All right, we're going to make it complimentary with JJ Harrell. What does he need to visit for? This is really just for the complimentary purposes, so it doesn't really matter if this is a bad fit. And none of it's going to be more than a C, so I'll just take that. All right. Been subbed since the Golden Gopher Dynasty. Love the channel and loving the Steelers franchise, being a fan of them myself. Thank you, BN. I was recording some of that earlier. It's always interesting when I'm doing all these series and I'm sitting here right now and they're all like at the same point. So I had to record another offseason of the Steelers earlier today. That'll be going on the channel tomorrow. Sim ahead. Come on. We're looking for Dylan Lee. Cameron Keys picks Arkansas State. Colin Cubberly. Gerald Ogletree. Yes. We got our quarterback. Trev. Question answered. Screenshot. Picasso Rosado, my favorite artist. Dylan Owen. Vernon Randall, we have a punter. Max Dorsey. Bernard Proctor. Cameron Falk. We're still waiting for running back Dylan Lee. Look who's back. He loves Arkansas State so much, he has committed to the school 3 times. BJ Wisevich is back. Jamison Woodrow, the Mike linebacker. Stephen Rennell. Jaden Edwards. Elliot Head. Jason Goodman, a linebacker. Hokayawa Hunga. I will clean that up as much as I can. We have 1 running back. Can I get 2? No. No. Wow, we lost a few, I think. It's National Signing Day, folks. And Dylan Lee picked Notre Dame over us. At the last moment, he decided, I'm going Notre Dame. Man, that's brutal. And I thought we were getting Cash Courtney. Nope. Marlon Mon goes to Nebraska. Andre Lovett, Iowa State. Wayne Metz, he's going to go to the Michigan Wolverines. We might get Legend on Wenu later because he never actually got offered by Hawaii. Wow. I missed out on Dylan Lee. I missed out on a 4-star safety. So did we get a true difference maker in the portal this year? I do think Cameron Keys is arguably our biggest addition. Very good in coverage, extremely athletic. This is going to make our secondary a lot better. Deeper. And we cleaned up some linebacker concerns. Cubberly, I'm also excited to see his ratings more fully. Not as flashy as some other off seasons. Yeah, we got to see where those former Arkansas State players went. And I want to see where the top players ultimately chose to go. So the best player was DJ Pickett going from LSU to Tulane, joining the American. Houston quarterback Austin Carlisle then goes to Texas. Oh, wow, that's a big move there. Cal lost JKS to Pitt. Marquise Lightfoot. Legend from my Miami Dynasty last year. All right, let's take a look at Arkansas State. We lost Neil Kennedy to Colorado State. That one's going to keep me up at night. Timothy Gully to Iowa State. Stefan Diggs to ULM. Chase Bogle to UCF. Oh yeah, we got to check out some devs. We got more action coming up, guys. Thank you all for being here today. Good off season so far. I'm happy with it. All right, so this is position changes now. I don't know that there's a lot I need to do. Harrell's going to stay in that same role. Sometimes I even out guard or tackle, but that's in a pretty good spot. Maybe I'll move someone to Sam, linebacker. Do you guys see all the star devs here at Will linebacker? Elliott Head, Calvin Falk, Isaiah Harris, all star dev freshman linebackers. McCracken is 209 pounds. Are you serious? 6'6", 209? That's wild. How much does Drake London weigh? What's he listed at? Drake London is at 215. Can we call it basically Drake London? .6'6", 209. Does any receiver like have that dimensions? I'm looking up a scary comparison here. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, 6'2", 237. Yeah, if there ever was a wide receiver tight end tweener, I think that's it. Lil Jordan Humphrey? Ooh. I like where your head is. Lil Jordan Humphrey's got some weight on him, though. He's listed at 225, 6'4". 6'6", 209 is a weird one. Pat Bryant with the Broncos, who scored his first career touchdown yesterday. A pass game for the Broncos, man. It was clicking at some points there. They had some really good throws. Pat Bryant, 6'2", 204. This is just a weird build. Not often seen in football. He better gain some weight. I mean, geez. There's got to be some good barbecue in Jonesboro. Please. We need him eating like Chipotle burritos for a meal each day. We need like 8 pancakes and a loaf of French toast and a dozen eggs for breakfast. And we need like a pound of brisket, just brisket, nothing else for dinner. Yeah, I've seen the Harold Carmichael one thrown out a bunch. His dimensions are pretty rare. Harold Carmichael was listed at 6'8", 225. So, like an average small forward. Yeah, all that to say that Kiki McCracken is still an interesting player, but he's not very strong. And he's going to be there as a field stretcher. This is what kind of makes Jabari Bush interesting because he... What the heck? Those ratings don't make sense. I knew Jabari Bush had decent run blocking. I just didn't realize what the more advanced blocking ratings were. 71 run block, 26 run block power, 24 run block finesse. What does that mean? Yeah, Bush's skill caps are not good. His saving grace is that he played and produced last year. We know he can play a bit. That's just weird and confusing. Oh yeah, back to what I was going to do. Change a linebacker to Sam. No penalties for doing this, right? Because it's just one linebacker spot to another. Aw, Rosado had normal dev. Let's move Picasso. All right, guys, you want a big reveal here. We got 5 athletes to assign. Gerald Ogletree, 79. Yeah, y'all are going to wait for that one. Y'all going to wait. Joey Cologne. I'm not making you a tight end 197, Joey. I'm not seeing all the ratings here. I might be better off just staying on this page. Oh. Gerald Ogletree has normal? I was going to save it for last, but it came up and I saw it. Now, he doesn't need as much development to be intriguing, but he is a 79. There's mobility there at 83 speed, 83 acceleration, very strong arm, very good accuracies. Not much that's really going to hold him back. What's his deal breaker? Playing style still. So we're going to need to throw for some yards. For sure. We'll see about the caps. Now isn't the spot where we see the caps. All right, Max Dorsey. They have him at edge or D tackle. '87 strength. I'm gonna have to just do it this way to see all the ratings I want to see. 59 block sheds. So yeah, I'd agree. He's just a big edge rusher. If he's not going to be much of a run defender, we won't list him as a defensive tackle. But he could rush from the interior probably just fine. All right, Max Dorsey is going to be listed as edge. Then we got Kofi Osgood, who I think is also supposed to be an edge. Power move is 79. Tackling of an 80. Low block shed. So same situation there. We'll go power rusher. We have not done training yet. No, not quite. We're getting there. We haven't changed conference yet either. All right, Joey Colon and Bradley Durham, I believe, are both going to stay at running back. Yep. Be prepared for Ogletree to possibly transfer because of playing time, because of his high overall. Happens to me almost every year somehow. Well, my plan has been to get him on campus and play him. So I'd hope that wouldn't be the reason he'd leave. Kiki McCracken will put on some weight. I hope so. Oh, Charlie Collins upgraded his trait to elite. Yeah, he needed the boost, you know. He wasn't playing well enough. Keon Dunlap is upgraded the star. He was an All-American. Who else? Noah Herrick becomes a star. That's definitely earned. This is cool to see. I've never had it pop up this many times. All right, guys, ahead of training results, I'm just going to head to the bathroom quick. We're a couple hours into the stream. Hope you all have been enjoying the action. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to hit the insert ad button right now. And I'm back. All right, guys, training results are up next. Charlie Collins is up to a 91. It looks like he'll continue to be the top-ranked player on this team. Marcus Gorey Jr. is an 87. Duncan Grant gets up to an 87. Ooh, I see a big one down there. Let's go position by position. Duncan Grant to an 87. Gets a stronger arm. Still, I am looking to probably make the move to the new freshman. At running back now, Pokayawa Hunga looks to be our lead running back. Steven Katula takes a leap, though. Cooks is kind of left behind here. Who is the RB2? Now, the speed and acceleration here has me a little worried about a big role for Ringo or Katula. We got to see those freshmen, though. I think that RB2 job is up for grabs. Honga. What's your story here? He's basically at his caps. Another, Caleb Hicks-like senior transfer player. Hasn't really gotten much of a chance. At receiver, Xavier Johnson, 87, Harrell, 85, DeMar Alba, +8, and Pierre Shembo, +10. This is nice. DeMar Alba up to an 83, getting a +2 speed, +10 catching for J.J. Harrell. Big route running boost for DeMar Alba. Pierre Shembo, though, look at his route running. It's passed up Stephen Harris. 91 release. That's pretty exciting. I'm trying to see what makes Harris a higher overall player. He has better hands. Oh, his medium route running is better still at 92. Yeah, I think Harrell plays a lot more at running back too this year. Quinn, thank you for becoming a channel member. I appreciate that. I'll be scheduling the channel member live stream here for October pretty shortly. I'm probably doing that on Thursday evening. Harrell in the Deebo Samuel role. Yeah, I did a little bit of that last year. We could ramp it up possibly even further. At tight end, Leo Westerman gained 4 pounds. Jabari Bush gained 1. Westerman got a pretty good boost, though. His speed is better than Bush. His acceleration isn't, and I do think that makes a difference. Bush also just much better hands. Westerman better route running. Westerman also a better blocker. I think that's a legitimate battle there. Leo Westerman. All right, Noah Hacker at tackles up to a 75. Colin Cubberly might have just become our best offensive lineman, joining the team and becoming an 84. All but got to get a single digit or 11 through 19 number. But 84 is undoubtedly one of the best wide receiver numbers of all time. What do you guys think for DeMar Alba? All right, we made Jaden Edwards also comes over. And I wasn't expecting him to become our top-rated center. I was trying to find depth. He's not better in every area, but he might end up becoming the starter. I wasn't expecting that at all. And he had a big +7 bump. Norton didn't move. Montague and Butt up to 78 and 75. Right tackle, Haslam 75, Boykin 74. So, there's one standout starter, really. Our new left guard, Colin Cubberly. 91 strength, huge boost to the running game. Like, this guy is a mauler. And I cannot wait to start running behind his blocking. Charlie Collins being back, though, is just amazing for us. Noteboom gets a +6 boost. Defensive tackle, though, could all around be weaker because I didn't add a notable player to complement Herrick. We're going to have Max Souls there and Steve Doss. We're pretty thin, honestly. There are some edges who might be able to fill in there if we get, desperate. But hopefully we don't have to do that. All right, linebackers now. Bierman is an 84. Becomes our top-rated inside linebacker. All right. Grant Bierman's probably going to play, replacing Samaj Bridgman. Jaden Cotton is an 80. Also a good boost, and maybe our best coverage linebacker now. I should check out Harrell's number. They gave him 82 again. I am unable to edit his number too because he's an NIL player. So whatever like number he has, I have to just roll with. At corner, Marcus Gorey, 87. Cameron Keys, 87. Jolly, 79. This should be a really good secondary. At safety, Steve Rennell is a 73. And Keon Dunlap is an 80. My strong safeties are rated higher than Rennell, so we'll see who ends up being the opposite starter. On the surface here, Luke Wisham looks pretty good. Could end up being the guy. And then Amaya's back as the kicker, and we have a freshman, true freshman punter. All right. Encourage transfers. We don't have to cut anybody. Interesting that Duncan Grant has an F playing time deal breaker. Is that because of Ogletree? Even though he's a lower overall? Kane, in Madden, the new update no longer allows user throw on auto pass. So, like, you can't even do it now if that's enabled? Seniors have a broken playing time deal breaker. Not that it matters because it's his last season. Okay. I don't think there's any reason for us to cut anybody this year. There's Keontae Bargava, the new gadget receiver playmaker. I was hoping to get a J.J. Harrell replacement, and the athleticism looks like it checks out there. I did get Legend on Wenu. I didn't think he'd be a 57 overall, though. He shows up. Yep, we're going to get the skill caps, but the next step is to edit the conferences. So this is a big one that I've been hinting at. Not even hinting at in this stream. I've been talking directly about it. I can't look at rosters right now, but we can take a look at the conferences themselves, because I've been thinking about moving into the American Conference. Looking for teams that, you know, hopefully rival us closer than the teams in the Sun Belt do. We got Army, Memphis, and Rice as teams that have 70 plus overall. Tulane, UTSA's there. The American might be a good place for us to spend a little bit of time, because here's the Sun Belt, where teams just haven't been able to keep up. Is it a big deal to have an odd number of teams? What does a successful first season in the American look like? I think making it to the conference championship. I did make the Pac-12, yeah, after year one. It's got 8 teams. I'm not sure if there's anything else that needs to be updated here. So, does the odd number mess up scheduling? There's no divisions. Bring the best Sun Belt team with you? Not a bad idea. We could move a team out and send them to the Sun Belt. Like Florida Atlantic going to the Sun Belt at 59 overall would not feel bad. We could trade places with them. They're the lowest, one of the lowest rated teams. We can move Charlotte or Florida Atlantic. What do you guys think? Who has the brighter future, Cam Ward or Dart? And could you put in your own eyes what you would change with their franchises? Well, I mean, the Titans are just... They're a mess right now. They're going to have a couple rough years, depending on how good Ward can be going into year 2. Brighter future between the two? I mean, I feel like we've seen more from Dart already, but... I'm not sure I can give a real hard opinion either way just because of how messy things are for both teams. All right, you guys said kick Charlotte out. They're a 0-star school. Charlotte's going to the Sun Belt to replace us then. I'm not against making a move, though, like swapping Florida Atlantic for a team from here. Either Troy or Southern Miss would be, like, my pick. Southern Miss, we've had some good games against. Charlotte should be in the East. I guess they could be in the same spot as Coastal Carolina. Let's swap like Georgia Southern. If I move UTEP and NIU, I think so. I have the Mountain West updated. I feel like Troy gave us one of the better challenges last year. Southern Miss usually has a more intriguing, like, offense. But I think their quarterback also just graduated or something. I'm just taking a look at stars. Louisiana is a 2. We blew them out last year. I wanted to play App State more, but it just never happened. You guys want to take App State with us? Don't bring anyone? Does Joe Book come with? I wish. ULM and Arc State is hard-coded in rivalry. That's a good point. but they're a 59 overall. We can just play them again if we need to. Louisiana's at 2. They went 9-4 last year. App State was in the opposite division, so we didn't get to face them this off year. Appalachian State coming in to replace FAU would make it a little bit stronger. I kind of like that. It's a little funky, but I don't mind. All right, so the new American Conference welcomes in Appalachian State and Arkansas State. And we'll see if this is a more competitive all-around conference schedule then. I still want to make our non-conference schedule tougher, because we're now in that mode where we're preparing to move up to the next level, to the SEC one day. So I want a protected opponent. Choose a number of protected opponents. I would like to make it so we play Memphis. Because we are true rivals. It's the Paint Bucket Bowl. We all know that. If Colorado State starts Kennedy, do you play them? I'd probably consider it, honestly. Does App State get the Glass Bowl? Do I need to change any of the other protected rivalries then? Like Army and Navy are already protected. App State and UAB would make more sense to me. Or, no, it wouldn't actually make sense to me. Scratch that. ECU would probably make more sense for App State, being they're both in the Carolinas. Or, I need to change ECU. It's kind of a weird interface. Where are those pirates at? There they are. App State, ECU, Memphis and us, North Texas and Tulane. Rice and UTSA makes sense. Temple just feels like, what are you doing here exactly? Temple's just geographically on its own. UTSA and Rice would be closer than North Texas in either one. That's San Antonio, and I think Rice is like Houston. Or, where is Rice? It's not Houston. I used to know where Rice was. Where the heck do y'all play? Houston. It is Houston. Yeah, I was right the first time. That looks good. Gets a little confusing to remember where like the 17 FBS teams in Texas are all located. To the American Conference we go. Excited to see our next journey there, if the conference is a better fit for where we are in the series. So that's been adjusted. And let's sim ahead. We're going to look at some opposing rosters now and try to find a good non-conference schedule. We're going to get bumped all the way up to 81, it appears. Now, I don't think the overalls for all those other teams were exactly up to date, but they'll probably be somewhat close. Let's check out just this menu. So they have us at 81, Tulane 76, ECU 69, Rice 76, App State 66, same with Temple, USF 67, Tulsa 67, North Texas 75, Memphis 74, UTSA 62, Army 69, along with UAB, and Navy is 67. So this screen would still tell you that on paper we are the best. Trying to find a good home for this team, and hopefully this proves to be competitive and we have tough games that are fun. Yeah, there's like ECU's roster as a 69. That's got a lot of solid talent there. Memphis, you know, I think Memphis looks worse as a 74. So it's kind of strange sometimes how that all works out. We'll see if we face one of the military academies. Rice looks tough. Rice looks really tough. Temple. They got one of the best receivers and one of the best corners and a good quarterback. And a million good safeties. Tulane. DJ Pickett. Tough corners. Tulsa. Achilles Smith with good receivers, and that's a fun build. UAB, not as exciting as some of the others. USF, there's some good standouts there too. Yeah, I think this is going to play a lot more competitively. UTSA, man, they need some work. Whereas, you know, Louisiana was one of the better teams then that is in the Sun Belt. Only a couple above an 80. The Sun Belt just ended up getting too bad. All right, do we have a schedule yet? What have they given us? Opening at Rice in week 1. They got this conference schedule basically getting underway immediately. Very strange. So, right now, can I open this week up? I might schedule a game week 0 out of conference, or we just go right into the Rice. That could be a good way to open the season too, considering they ought to be one of the better teams. How do we want to open the year? Right away with Rice? Or something else? UCLA rematch? Would look like a pretty good opener, honestly. Yeah, we're going to throw Arkansas in there too. I just wanted to see what it would give us as a base. Let's also take a look at a couple situations. Bo Jackson at Texas is their #1 running back. That means we're going to play Texas. And it might not be pretty. Bo Jackson's the starter. He transferred for this moment right here. Let's check out Colorado State. Neil Kennedy. He will be their QB3. But we had a bunch of players leave last year. Remember Josh Flowers at Duke? We could play him. That'd be a great team to face. 82 overall, number 18. So we got Texas, Duke, Arkansas so far. You can only have three power conference teams, though. Is that really a rule? I'm okay if that's our 3, because that is challenging. I think that's what people want to see. So does that mean I get to pick like an easier team then for a different spot on the schedule? I wouldn't mind it being like the best team from the Sun Belt that we leave behind as like a late season game. Might be hard to get all 3 on the schedule. Well, I'll try. Let me look for like the most intriguing Sun Belt team then that is left behind. Can I get all those teams while still playing Rice in week 1? Might be tough to pull off fully. ULM is locked into one of my spots. Oh, is that because it's like a scheduled rivalry game or something? Well, I know if I take away this one and go open, it still locks it in. Okay. Well, let's see what's available week 2. It's a hard-coded rivalry. Got it. So Arkansas fits here. Duke does too. And Texas also fits. So I can pick anybody for week 2. Let's see week 5. I can't do Arkansas. I can't do Duke. I can do Texas. So I think Texas has to go there. And then Arkansas or Duke. None are available this week. You could have an awkward end of season, but neither are available there. Week 0, I could do either one if I want to do a week 0 game. Make sure you're not hosting Texas. Yeah. We are going to host Arkansas, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a home game. Arkansas, Texas, and I gotta pick one of these open spots. Arkansas should be week 0. It could be a good week 0. It'd be a better week 0 than Duke. I appreciate that, RR. Thank you for the comment. And the first time Arkansas has to come to us on the road, too. That's a pretty fun way to start the year. Arkansas, Rice, Duke. That's going to be challenging. I think I have to host Duke. Yeah, I wouldn't... I don't think Duke's available in week 9 is the only thing. Yeah. You could play Pitt there. But I'd like the chance to face Josh Flowers as a quarterback who transferred away from us. That's all right. We still have home games in week 8 and week 10, so there's still visit possibilities lined up here. I mean, week 6 and week 8 are going to be your better ones. Love the videos, Kane. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Faison. Thank you so much for the 3-month membership. Have seen Flowers play live. He's a baller. Well, now he's going to be running the show for Duke. Arkansas, Duke, Texas. Good non-conference schedule, in my opinion. I wish I had the chance to do 4 games, but that seems to be a decent little schedule. And how about we end the season on the road? By the way, App State, one of the best stadiums to go to in-game, one of the coolest backdrops. But our final game is an old Sun Belt opponent, but in the American Conference. Go to Duke and run 5 home games. Consider it the penalty for jumping conferences. What do you guys think? Should I play 5 or 6 home games this year? I am getting USF, UTSA, and UAB. I am getting 3 home games there in the conference. Most people are saying 6. I'm just going to keep it. So 3 of our first 4 are at home, but they'll be challenging games. That's going to be fun. Give me that Heisman watch. Peyton Lewis, Noah, Bo Jackson on here, Akili Smith, Gideon Davidson. I never had a chance to get him, did I? Preseason All-Americans in the American. All right. I got a few of our standouts here. Honga, the new running back. Xavier Johnson. Colin Coverly. Charlie Collins. Grant Bierman, the newcomer. J.J. Harrell. Noah Herrick. Cameron Keys. Now, I've never really been sure if they did it this way, but this doesn't seem to be sorted in any specific manner. I like to think that when you click here in preseason, they're sorting this by, like, who they think is going to win the conference. Which, they have us at the top of the list. It might just be by... It's not even by ranking, because they have UCLA above Michigan here for the Big Ten. So I always view this as like the preseason favorites. And they have us. There are some other notable players who have exited. It's just we missed the chance for some of them, or they didn't end up starting. But a former backup quarterback leaving is one of the better situations to run into here. All right, guys, cap time. Starting with quarterback Gerald Ogletree. I was so excited. I found him last year, I think right before the first episode of the season. Gerald Ogletree only has normal development. His caps are decent, though. The accuracy cap's in a good spot. IQ is in a really good spot. Elusiveness. All that looks really good. I might as well cut off the webcam for this part of the recording. So yeah, those caps are fine. Normal dev, though, it's weird. He has a high starting overall, low development, good caps. Overall, he's going to be probably just fine. I want to see our new running back. Pokiawa Hunga. I will have to find the pronunciation guide. I really hope there is one. Speed and acceleration are good. It's going to be better than Caleb Hicks. Very good elusive skills. I don't know that we're going to have the same power element this year. He's a different running back. Here are the other running backs that joined the team, though, this year, and we ended up getting a lot more athleticism this time around. So let's see those running backs then. Bradley Durham. 6'1", 174. And can't get much better on elusiveness. We hope power gets a little bit better. Not the best caps there. Onwenu did join. He's a very low overall. Joey Cologne. Maybe gets a little bit better receiving. Not sure those guys are going to take a colossal step. Yeah, Bauman did go to Pitt. He picked them pretty early in the offseason. He is going to develop, though. It's going to take a while to get on the field. So here's what we missed out on. I mean, basically no caps. He's decent, though. I mean, upside is, like, better than who he currently is. He's just well-rounded, but not, like, the most bursty player. Caps are excellent. All right, at wide receiver, the only newcomer is going to be Keontae Bargava. I added one receiver in a whole year. Bargava has star dev and 92 speed, 91 acceleration. I don't love the cap here on route running, but it is already in a good spot. His elusiveness, though, is probably his best trait. There's a less or a above 0 chance of him just moving straight up to running back with these skills, because he does have a really good running back skill set while being a good receiver. So we'll see. At tight end, Kiki, the 209-pound McCracken. I mean, he's got upside with route running. Put on some weight, bro. Hit the gym. And your local barbecue pit. Nathan Soliday, I thought was going to be a lot better. You know, I was already disappointed by normal dev. You know, the pass blocking is not bad. I don't think his ratings are bad, but he might not accelerate fast enough to become a starter. Legend on Wenu, I really did not think was going to be a 57, but maybe I should have. He was a 3-star whose ratings looked bad, so I'm like, maybe he's not an offensive lineman. Maybe he's a different position. Keep in mind that he's one of those players that didn't commit to us on signing day. He just showed up later on. What number is JJ Harrell? I thought it was 82. 88. He changed to 88. And I can't control numbers for NIL players. Stop changing your number, JJ. Nothing I can do about it. Kiki has a quarterback sleeve. Maybe check his passing attributes. Nope. Not a quarterback. All right. Moving on to Connor Flood, impact right guard. We are looking at a potential future starter with these caps. That's very good. Run blocking emphasized player. Yeah, Harrell's in his Ty Montgomery era. Yeah, that's so accurate. All right, we got a couple edge rushers here to take a look at. Max Dorsey. Impact Dev. Caps are not all that kind to him, though. I like the red sleeve and the red glove that goes with it. That's kind of a good look. I think that looks awesome. Kofi Osgood. Better caps, especially on power move, which is his strength. Bargava has like 89 throw power. He had like 50 some accuracy though, so he might be good for like 2 career pass attempts. All right, a lot of new linebackers. Jason Goodman is here. Impact Dev. Coverage is uncapped. Run stopping. Kind of an annoying cap there. Not bad. Picasso Rosado. I was very excited about him. But normal development. And yeah, the caps are very restrictive. Very. Stick to art. Grant Bierman. All right, but I added 3-star dev will linebackers. Calvin Falk. 79 speed, 86 acceleration. So we're looking for good run stopping, not bad caps. Anticipate it'll be more of a run stopper. Elliott Head. Star Dev again. Yeah, good caps. But I'm hoping to find someone who has a better starting point with their pass coverage. It seems harder to find. Isaiah Harris. Again, 71 zone coverage isn't terrible. I like the upside on Isaiah Harris. But with 3-star dev linebackers, there's a chance that one of them takes a big leap, and whoever that is will probably walk into the most playing time. Bernard Proctor. I don't remember getting him. Yeah, probably depth-only guy. Cordale Herring. Not the best caps, but, you know, safety's a spot where he could still emerge one day. Dylan Owen, one of my targets today. Caps are not that good. And the one we're all waiting for, the punter, Vernon Randall. Impact dev. 90 kick power. Not going to get much better. The accuracy can get so much better. Vernon Randall, the new punter, is here. All right, I guess it's time then to start getting the new recruiting board put together, huh? Let's take a look. Now that we're a 2-star team, actually 2.5, what are we looking at for this upcoming season? So, it's another year where we don't have too many seniors. 16. A quarterback, a running back again. Actually, 2 running backs. We're going to have 2 receivers, Xavier Johnson and J.J. Harrell. A tight end in Jabari Bush. Only 1 offensive lineman. It's our best guy, too, in Cubberly. On defense, only 1 player in the front 4. That's Charlie Collins. 4 linebackers. Whole bunch or no, that's only 1 linebacker. Bierman. 3 corners, including our best 2. And then 3 strong safeties. I'd surely like to get a running back that we can just like stick with for a little while. I don't want to have a new guy every year and adapt to a new skill set all the time. Yeah, it's very easy to over-recruit when you're not losing that many. Absolutely. You gotta get really picky, though. Do a lot of scouting. And just accept, you know, going for less players. So, if we look at 5-star talents, we're not, you know, we've never gotten one before. And there's no one that has initial interest in us. Do we attempt to make a push? If we look at pipelines, you know, we got a few options that check in here with a 2-star pipeline. Still probably not the time. Why only 625 hours? I just became a 2.5-star team, so I don't know. Should it be 650? For 4 stars. Okay, remember what I did last year? I kind of like that strategy. 5s are a stretch. 4s are a stretch. But We have initial interest from 2 4-stars at least this year. Oh, way more. Okay. We're going for 4s. We are going for 4s. Hardcore now. That's such a huge difference. It used to be nobody. Because what I did last year is I didn't even try to get a 4-star right away. I simmed to week 1 or week 0 just to see who had 0 offers. And then I picked from that list. But now, we might be recruiting 4-stars in a big way. Noah Cook, 85th ranked player. Man, the linebackers are interested. Do we have any 4-star running backs? Oh, only a dozen or so. I need... Oh, only C+. I can handle that, I think. How many running backs on the board is too many? I'm at 6. I'm cutting myself off there. No 5s had interest here in the first stage. I'll probably go to week 0 and see if there's one that doesn't get an offer, which is not often the case when it comes to 5s. And kind of go from there. Like, I'm going to have to leave some of these guys off the board. This is a whole new world we're in, guys. I'm looking for players who have us high on the board or highly ranked. And sometimes I'm looking for just variety in archetypes. Man, look at all the linebackers. I'm at 23. Safety? I know you guys will want Ezekiel DeBeer after us getting Grant Bierman. I think that's a pretty good board. It's entirely 4-stars this year. I don't think the blocking tight ends ever developed that receiving. They're just way too low to start out. I'm actually going to be scouting these guys now a lot more. No star. Looking to see if we find any gems. Let me, I want to sort this by national rank. Oh, come on. I got 2 duds? I didn't have my gem luck last year either. 3 duds. Not asking for a lot, guys. I gotta find at least 1 gem in this session. Come on, man. I'm sure there are some good players here, but 86 finesse moves? Gotta make sure Robert Timms gets an offer. Not a single gem so far. Brother. What is going on? No gems. I got 4 duds. We'll skip running back for now. Give me Neville McCracken. Yeah, my instincts were good there. I'll have to save points to give out a bunch of offers too, so I need to not scout too many more. Oh, look at that pass protection. I'm in a whole new world, guys. Oh yeah, we got some winners on this board already. All right. So if they have an offer, they got to get bumped up. I need to get a good deal of offers out in this stage too. Is that it? I only gave out 4 offers. All right, do I like any of these running backs enough? Antonio Weil. With 80 break tackle, yeah, I gotta be happy there. Gonna offer to him. We're gonna change up the tunes. Josh Costa's getting an offer. Emmett Nestor, 94 strength. Gonna give him an offer. .70 speed felt a little bit low here. Definitely a pure power guy. I'm gonna offer. What do you think? Like 4-star players here who have like the bust thing are still probably pretty good, right? I mean, they're 4s. And we just got to the point where 4s are going to become possibly normal. Yeah, we'll definitely look at quarterback at some point. It's just not going to be one of our day 1 targets here. I like these linebackers. Might be able to do a little bit more scouting here. I'm still going to offer on Manny Hill. That's a weaker position on the team. I still like him. All right, so how many offers now? That's 10. And we have only like 16 players outgoing. You project at least 7 to 10 transfers, and you're probably looking at 20, 25 openings. So I'm curious, like we can go after all these 4s. This feels like we're going to be able to juice this roster. I wonder how difficult the recruiting ends up being. I still have, 2-star hours. And you need to put a lot of time in to get a lot of these guys. But with... Is my usual week going to be 625, or is that just my preseason numbers? Because I should still be able to send the house on a fair amount of players. That is certainly a pass protector center. Not a very good run blocker. Might just throw out 6 more offers then. Base a lot of it off of deal breakers that I think are trustworthy. I need to find a non-box specialist safety. Let me see if there was a safety who had a different archetype that fits. With initial interest, it might be a little thin. Is the only issue. At least Manny Hill was a cover specialist, and I did put him on the board. I do like all the additional archetypes. I think getting a little bit more specific on some of the skill sets is a good move, and adjusting like how they develop and how they fit into a team. What you guys been playing lately? What games are y'all into these days? Here in October, I had started and then beat Resident Evil 7. I had played it a little bit, but I never played it fully. And I'm getting a little bit more and more into survival horror stuff. So I played through Resident Evil 7. I finished the base game for Control, which is a very confusing game. And been playing a lot of Battlefield. A lot of BF6. Outer Worlds. Yeah, the second one I know drops like in a couple days. I'm curious. I guess the reviews are already out. I haven't watched any yet. Replaying Pokemon Black. Really good generation. I think a really, really underrated generation, especially story-wise. League of Legends. BF6. CFB 26, Zelda Breath of the Wild of the Switch 2. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the reason I haven't gotten a Switch 2 yet, is because what I'd want to play the most is probably just the Zelda games I already have on Switch. I'd love to play them at 60 frames, for sure. Do you personally update your players how you want to, like Madden, manual update players? No, I like the auto updating in this game. I think it works well. I like the unpredictability of it. I think it offers some more personality to the players. So I personally prefer it this way. I totally get why people would also like to do manual and develop their players, you know, in a way that they think is right. Thank you, Patrick, for the super chat. Signalis. Okay, I have not played that one. I know that game, though. That's been on my radar. Dispatch. I'm not sure about that game. I've never heard of that one. I'm interested in the new NASCAR game. Yeah, I know it's been a while since the last one came out. And there's been some hope behind this one. We'll see. CFB 26 has me in a chokehold still. Glad to hear you're having fun with the game. Haven't been playing many games, but I do play the Pokemon Pocket trading card game. Yeah. A lot of people are into that one. I haven't played that one. I beat Ghost of Yotei, so I've gone back to Tsushima. Yeah, I'm going to get to Yotei sometime. I just knew that with like Battlefield and some other games I'm playing that doesn't fit for me right now. Gonna have to get to like Borderlands and Yotei maybe next year. Farming Simulator 25, Helldivers 2, Legends ZA. Yeah, I love the first Legends game. I'm hoping to pick this one up sometime. I'm in a weird spot because I don't have a Switch 2, and I'm not really sure if a game like that is still worth it to get on Switch 1. It might, considering the Switch 2's version didn't look all that advanced in any way. If you like Telltale games, you like Dispatch. I love Telltale games. Who remembers the old Walking Dead streams? Huh. Wait, this dropped 5 days ago. Really? I'll have to check that out. Former Telltale devs worked on this game. Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that. Speaking of zombies, have you heard of Into the Dead? No, not familiar. Into the Dead. I'll have to look into this one too. It looks like there's a game coming up, or that was announced. Yeah, I've been seeing like Switch 2s in stock everywhere, like fully stocked. How long have you been married? This year it'll be 7 years already. I have not gotten Legends ZA, no. I haven't really watched that much content on it either. I'm interested in playing sometime. I just haven't had that Pokemon itch, I guess, in a little bit. Surround Dead. That's a great name, but no, that sounds like another one I don't know. Especially if it's more of a PC-centric game that's not like my wheelhouse. I don't really play on the PC. If it's Steam Deck compatible, that's a better fit for me. Surround Dead. Very positive reviews. I like the art style. Alright. Y'all are putting me on to some good, interesting games today, I think. I got some things to look into tonight, I guess. Thank you. Thank you, Vincente. Or Vincente. How are the cats? Cats are great. Napping last time I saw them. None are in here with me. They don't want to hang out in here right now. Yeah, my wife plays games. She plays, you know, she's like the reason I got into the Zelda games on Switch, because I had never played a Zelda game before, and she kept hounding me to play it. She likes stuff like that, you know, Stardew Valley, Sims, a lot of cozy games, but yeah, the Zelda games, she loves those. Breath of the Wild especially. See, I didn't really play much of Scarlet or Violet yet. I I don't know. I guess it wasn't exciting enough for me. Paralives comes out in December. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. That's the Sims, like a Sims competitor, right? Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it's intriguing. I love to play 2K again sometime. I think that you know, the Surf was a good introduction to it. The series did really well. People loved the series. I think I'd have a better idea of how to go about things, you know, in another go-around. I think that one change I'd make, this would be a more controversial one, but I would put on true shot percentage shooting, because you guys know I care most about ratings playing out, not so much trying to time and get green releases. So I would probably choose that. And definitely something I got to get to again. All right, so I don't want to talk too much more about recruiting, but I do want to know what the initial board looks like. You know, it looks like we're in first for Neville McCracken, but you know, one thing that might be interesting now about recruiting these fours, we'll hopefully win and have a better roster, but I think that any four we go for, if I'm not sending the house, I'm pretty much wasting my time. I have to really just go all in if I'm going to go at all. So I think right away, I'm looking at these players who only have a couple offers, and I'm going to try to target them for sure. Players who have like 8 offers, I'm probably not in the best shape right now, especially if one of those teams is LSU with like a 5th tier pipeline. A sim type rebuild in 2K would be fun. You know, considering how bad I am, something I have to consider for sure. The last time I tried true shot percentage, it didn't work how you would expect. You would only get realistic shooting if every shot was a wide open catch and shoot attempt. So how would it determine contested shots then? Was there still a timing element? Because it's hard to get a 4-star, I would avoid duds. Yeah, duds who have like multiple offers, more than 2 or 3. You know, like I should not go for Manny Hill, probably. You know, my content strategy is like in the process of changing here in terms of like now Arkansas State is a live comm series. It's not going to be done until July of next year. Eventually, you know, I'm going to have some open spots to be more experimental, and I'm hoping that as we move on, I have a chance to try out some new things and get back to 2K sometime, because it's been like 5-6 years now. How does CPU play on 2K? Like, is it decent? If I were to do something like my Steelers series or my Madden franchise rebuild, but move it to 2K where it's just CPU versus CPU and I'm managing the team, I know a lot of you would probably enjoy it, but does the CPU gameplay play well? Because that's what I think helped the series take off back when I started doing the Browns series. I had no idea that it would just play really well, all pro default sliders. And outside of a couple periods of time, like when Madden 26 launched this year, I haven't needed sliders at all, and I've gotten entertaining gameplay. People make sliders for CPU. I'd have to give it a shot. I haven't played 2K in so long. Head coach Neil Hope. So I'm going to have 500 hours when I get back to recruiting to start to piece this all together. We'll see how easy it is to get these 4s. This could still be very difficult, and I could end up with a lot more wasted points. But we have leveled up in that area. I'll have to look up the good CPU sliders, especially if they're showed off in like a YouTube video where I can kind of get an idea of how it looks. Progression sliders as well. Man, I haven't played 2K in so long. I forgot how many features they had that can make that experience fun. I hear negative things about 2K all the time, but you don't exactly hear positive things about sports games anyway. And plus, I'm a franchise-only guy. So, like, whatever they're doing in my player that, you know, is unpopular won't really pertain to me. Now, before I head out, we do need to get on the practice field. Because we need to see what Gerald Ogletree is all about. I'd love to see some innovation in MLB The Show's franchise mode. Like, on field, easily the best sports game. Easily. You guys know how much fun I have playing MLB The Show. But off the field, it is the most shallow. More than Madden. More than any other game. I still love playing it though because just the gameplay is so good. All right, guys. Are we looking at our new quarterback right now? Well, not right now because I have to pick a play. Gerald Ogletree is here. He's arrived. He's picked the Arkansas State Red Wolves. So, he's got good mobility, and he's just such a developed passer for a true freshman. You never see, you know, his blend of skills on a freshman, especially when he is a 3-star player. Like, he was very underrated. It's a nice ball there to J.J. Harrell. So, he's got a strong arm, maybe too strong sometimes. Ooh, I mean, that is just... You can't trust every quarterback to make some of these throws. You know, every quarterback has, like, a margin for error. But, like, when you can hit this post here and trust to get the ball there accurately... We got to get him on the move, too. Sprint pass. Oh, running away from Charlie Collins. And the new running back, here we go, Hunga. No more Caleb Hicks this season. Ooh. You see how quick he just flicks this ball? He should have been sacked here. Look how late I threw this. Perfect ball.
27 jump. 180.
He has such a quick trigger.
Here we go. 180.
And with that throw power too, like that adds velocity to the ball. With a stronger arm, you can, you know, hit tighter windows. And you can make some plays you weren't making before. His throw power is a 95, Winston. It's pretty high. Duncan Grant arrested by the FBI for illegal poker games. You're just looking for a way to make a living, man. Ooh. So what's going to happen with, like, Chauncey Billups? Put it up there. Oh, my God. It was a perfect throw, too.
Charcoal. Four. Set up. Ready. 20. Come on, set. 4 base.
Put it up there for Xavier. Oh, good coverage. We got 2 good cornerbacks. Yeah, I'm expecting this to be a really good team again this year, but it'll certainly be a tougher overall schedule. If you missed how I set up the non-conference schedule this year, we're going to open the year against Arkansas. And now they're going to come to our house after we beat them in theirs last year. We're also going to play Duke because Josh Flowers, who transferred away from us, is now their starting quarterback. And they're a solid, you know, top 20 team, a good challenging opponent. And we're going to face Texas because Bo Jackson is now their starting running back. That's why he transferred back to a big school. What a route. And now in the American Conference, we're going to have tougher teams in general, but we should still, you know, on paper, fare very well. But it's tougher than it was in the Sun Belt. So, who's, I forget where he coaches Chauncey Billups. Like, is it just their assistant coach is all of a sudden the head guy right when the season begins? Oh, give me that. Yeah, the Blazers.
Here we go. 180 up. Set, ready. Let go.
I used to play with him in NBA Live 2001 on the PC, where I play with some third-party controller. It's Tiago Splitter, if you remember him. The name is certainly familiar. I gotta see this arm strength really get a chance to open up.
Here we go.
All right. Oh, guess what's back on the menu? Quarterback running. Why is he cold? How do I warm up our quarterback here in practice? Not like that, apparently. I think we're going to need someone that we've never seen before to emerge as like that power guy. Like, who's getting the ball on 3rd and 1, I think is a question we have to answer now on this team. Honga has the size, but he's not exactly a power guy. We'll have to see if he still ends up being the best for the job. Oh my god! That move from Alba! Alba took a huge leap in the offseason too. He's going to be a monster. Our quarterback is getting the 3rd and 1 calls. Are we just going to be a team that goes zone read on 3rd and short? I gotta work on my mesh point option timing because I've screwed that up a couple times. Bang. He broke a couple tackles on that play. If he can at least fall forward, then he might still be the guy. Glad you enjoyed the show here, Jayhawks fan. Have a good night. Happy to stream with you all here today. It was a fun one. Monday afternoon. Nice way to start the week, honestly. Just getting going here with an off-season stream. Oh my gosh. Look at this guy go. Gerald Ogletree. We're not doing that one in the game. Probably. Look at BJ with Savage covering the deep middle. I didn't know linebackers could even do that in this game. Home run ball. Nice. I've intended to go with Ogletree. I think he's a special player. And against some of these tougher teams, we might need that extra bit of boost he'd give us. I actually have a quarterback now whose arm is strong enough to overthrow deep balls. This is new. Can't wait to see this team now in the American Conference. How do things look this next season? We're gonna find out here shortly. All right, that's all the time I got for tonight, guys. That was fun. Great off-season stream. Really enjoyed it. Hope you all did as well. Thank you all for coming. And that's going to do it. Yeah, I could try the RPOs more. I don't usually think about running them with a quarterback. I think they've changed the controls in the option game, and it still got me feeling a little bit weird running it sometimes. I hope y'all have a good night. We got football game here pretty soon. Please tell me it's just one this week. I'm tired of these double headers. We got Commanders and Chiefs. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for spending some time here on your Monday. And look forward to the new season getting underway later this week. Take care, everybody, and have a good night.